Whakarongo ki te tangi a te korimako. Kōrero flowing out the hooker force. Kaupapa relevant, kaupapa out of bounds, kaupapa exigent, kaupapa paramount. Nā ko nā whakapiri mai ki te kaupapa tino whakahira hira whakarongo pi kari kari mai. Hare hare mai, o Taringa hare hare mai. We gotta gather up close everybody. Gather up close everybody. Kani move that body. Kani move that body.
E ngā kāwai nui, e ngā kāwai roa, ngā mātua tupuna, e ngā whakaheke, ngā o rātau mā, tēnā koutou katoa, e mihi ana kia koutou katoa, koe tēnei ko Taringa.
Taringa.
Oh, we've got an ihu over here. Whakapāhu atu ana kia koutou atu i te pokapū o Tawamutu, the bustling metropolis.
Beep, beep.
Pip, pip, te taone haruru o Tawamutu. Kamutu, no roto mai nei i te ahurutanga o te Wānanga o te roa, e mihi ana kia koutou katoa.
E mihi ana.
Tainatu kia koutou, te māngai pāho, koutou ngā koutou toko o tēnei kaupapa, mei kore ake ko koutou, ka rere tēnei manu a Taringa. No re mihi ana kia koutou. Tēnā tātou.
Tēnā koe.
Tātou, tēnā koe, e kiu.
Tēnā koe, tā tātou manuhiri. Kore kau mohi ona hea hei whakamanuhiri ai, tēnei no tēnei whenua tonu nei, oi no, mihi ana kia koe pau, nau mai hara mai kei wāngai a tātou.
Kia ora.
Ki mua i te kāmera, ki mua i te hopu reo. Te bro?
Che.
Well, we know who you are. I don't think they know who you are. Ko wai koe.
Kia ora. Tōku ingoa, ko Quinton Tūnoho, e uri au no raukau ki whare puhunga. Ko rāwhiti roa te marae, pūnu te awa. Ko tainu i te wako hōtūro o te tangata. Nei au kāmihi. Che.
Only took 330 episodes, but we've got you on here, Q.
Kamatu i te korenga o tō tāwa tuakana. Ko koe noho mai nā hei kanohi mōna. Kia koe praone, mihi ana kia koe bro, mohi ana. Ko tahi te pane e hia nei o pōtai. So, you know, as our illustrious leader, well, our Taringa rahi, our Taringa huru. He's off to campaign with other kaupapa, the various kaupapa that he is involved with. We scratched the barrel and we found it.
Wasn't like that.
Well, me nui te tangata e wehe ai, kia haumai ai te tangata. Kia koe e hoa. To sit here and catch up with us on our Patapatai.
Yes,
Patapatai. Sounds like a ricochet.
I'm like really looking forward to hearing about any thoughts you may have in regards to our Patapatai.
Now, koutou mā, you may have, or if you haven't, e hoa, I hea koe. If you haven't read, heard, listened, watched Mō Tai Tangatarau in the past few months and watched our latest episode talking about the kaupapa of Mō Tai Tangatarau and their latest stand in kapahaka, Tainui regional kapahaka competition. Q is one of the, we call him OGs of the group. Well, associated by blood, so he's not allowed to go anywhere else. But also an architect also in some of the things that you see and understand of what Mō Tai Tangatarau is. So, mihi ana kia koe hoa. Mihi ana kia koe. En hoi no, there's kia au ki te kaua o Taringa.
Ai.
Tō tātou kiwaha. Got a kiwaha. Got a kiwaha.
Got a kiwaha, kei no taku tamaiti e haere tonu ki te kohanga, hoki mai ki te kāinga, ka mea mai te kiwaha. He whakaora ai te nuinga pai, meki, ki te kāinga, ko whioke. Ngari ka tūpatu ei. Kia whioke, e hara i te atukoro FK. Oh yeah, no.
What's that other one? What's the other one?
Kupuanga tēnā. So hoia no.
I'm reminded.
Kanga rawa.
Kanga. Well, we've got something a bit similar from up north. But when the kids come home and they think they'll feel care and they haven't done their work for the day, and they get the whākia. Whākia. Oh, sorry, no mātou, hākia.
Hākia.
Pai. No re, whioke. Kia te tei tauira.
Wait, hang on. So that means that's like, yeah, buzzy, eh?
Yeah, buzzy. Yeah. I just hear the...
Koia.
Okay. Well, kua tai mai tō tātou manu heri ko kiu, whioke.
Whioke.
Have you got bros and that's all they do when you talk to them? Or they just go,
Yeah.
You're like, bro, whioke tō mahi tēnei. That's how they talk.
That's as far as the vocab goes.
That's as far as the vocab goes. And sometimes, ka nui tēnā.
Kanui.
Patapatai.
Yeah, well, speaking of vocab, have I got a patapatai
good
for all of us?
Thank you, everyone, for your pātai. We have AI now, so when you put your pātai in, you ask AI, can you summarise this? And then we'll get the points, and then we can read the pātai.
A little tip there for you.
Okay.
But okay, anyway, this comes from Maz Shearer. Tēnā koutou e hoa mā. I'm studying at Te Wānanga o Aotearoa this year. And I'm totally hooked on Taringa. Whioke.
Gateway drug.
I've learned so much from listening to you guys. He pātai tāku. So I used to live over in the Philippines and spent quite a few years learning to speak the local language Tagalog. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced. In my conversations, I tried really hard to avoid using English words, but they all thought this was odd because nearly everyone there speaks Taglish. As a learner of Te Reo Māori, I've noticed some of my fellow tauira doing a similar thing, substituting lots of English words in their sentences when they're speaking Te Reo Māori, probably because they haven't learned those particular words yet. On one hand, I respect their confidence, but on the other hand, it just doesn't sound right to me. Oh, what thoughts on this matter does the Jedi Council have? Ooh.
Well, they're not tūturu. Nah.
Okay.
But we go through that, eh? Like, we jump on our reo journey. Ka whaia te reo, ka whaia te aro te reo. And then we start looking for tūturutanga. Or they start using those evil kupu mino. They're not tūturu. Nah.
Yeah.
But it's a process of the thinking, eh?
Yeah.
And then you just want to find the Māori word for everything, and then
it's kind of like once you come out that other side and you realise, these things weren't invented back in the day, so there's no kupu tūturu.
Yeah.
Then I think you start coming back through and realising it's okay to sometimes substitute them.
Yeah.
Is that what you think?
Yeah. Kei reira katoa ku whakaaro. But I think it's part of the journey to arrive there.
Yeah.
O whakaaro, bro?
Well, tuatahi, great way of condensing their question down, Erica.
Yeah, I think she scrolled like 3 times and then went, he pātai tāku.
Pātai. Tūra, pātai pai. Kia nei, for the ones learning te reo, for like myself, it does become a vocab thing where we haven't quite nailed the kupu Māori for whatever we're trying to put across there. And so we'll chuck in the English word to finish off the sentence, I suppose, to tie in the sentence. But I do understand the whole meaning of how it doesn't sound right, because sometimes when you formulate your sentence structure in te reo Māori and then you chuck in the English word, it's not supposed to go there.
Yeah, it doesn't hit the mark.
It doesn't hit the mark. 2, it's probably supposed to be at the start of the sentence, or when we come to sentence structures of te reo Māori and how beautiful it is. But then the other part too is listening to learned speakers when they I hear it at a lot of presentations as such, and I think part of it is reading the audience.
Yeah.
And so halfway through a sentence where they'll chuck in an English word is to help the audience sort of re-engage with the kōrero that's going on. So it's not too heavy in te reo Māori, especially when you get a new audience and you get the right ones who know how to read a crowd. Ka kōrero Māori, te rongo o te wā, ka tahi, ka throw in some extra words in te reo Pākehā. And then everybody sort of sparks up again, and then we'll got you back on the waka, and then ka haere tōna.
That was a great example of that, right? Yeah. Ka throw in some extra words.
Yeah.
Loved it.
But and this is, I'm making the assumption that they're at a certain level, or kuaia no tāna ingoa?
Maz.
Kia ora, Maz.
Kia ora, Maz.
Everyone's on a different level or a different timeline of their learning journey. And it is at the end of the day, it's a vocab thing there. And that's the exciting part. You want to explain how you're feeling, however, you don't have the word for apprehensive. So you'll just use that word, or you'll use the word that you know. But then the beauty is going to find the various words that could explain what apprehension is. It does come down to vocabulary. And an encouragement for everyone, wherever you are in your working life, we got to change the way that we talk, because what dominates our day, or what fills in most of our day, will be a particular language that we speak. You'd have to learn or teach your people at PRC, Puni River Care, shout outs, the different types of digging, planting, instruments used. So it's relevant language, ne? You get to go out, one, look for that language, look for that vocab. Two, if it's new, because the world is ever evolving, and so should our reo. Our role is to maintain the life of our reo, so we adapt it to everything we do.
Just want to point out, I love the kupu Māori for computer.
Yeah.
Rorohiko, electric brain. So
brain.
cool. But second, a really good resource that I've found useful for myself lately is the Kids Māori Dictionary that Pania Papa and Kat Quinn put together.
That's massive.
Because, just talking about like feelings.
Yeah.
So my eldest daughter, she's quite like reserved in front of other people.
Yeah.
Not in front of us. And I used to try and explain that to people, they're trying to say hello to her and get some anything out of her, and she's not giving them a bar. And then I would say like oh, kei te whakamāia, but didn't really sound right.
Yeah.
Like kind of gives off this thing that she's embarrassed, which is she's not embarrassed. But I found a word in that dictionary, and it was kone for shy.
Nice.
And I was like, that's what she is.
Yeah.
She's just a bit shy.
So that's a beauty
Karakia
of it.
kone.
Yeah. And some of them have got really cool sounds. I teach my girl the really cool sounds. At the moment, this is our joke, she had too much KFC, and so she's got chicken pox. So I've probably had chicken pox for about 40 years. And so we learnt 2 words for scratch itchy. One is reka reka, he kupu no te taitokero, and mangeongeo.
Oh, aye.
Because it sounds so cool.
Yeah.
Mangeongeo for being itchy.
Yeah.
And I say, instead of haki haki, we just use tingo for dots. Pehano tingo I tēnei rā. She goes, I say mangeongo, and she goes, yeah, reka reka.
Me whakarongo pi kari kari.
Karoa no, bro?
Yeah, I think pulling it back to the question, the English words are sort of put in there for that reason, just pulling it back to vocab again. But yeah, tautoko ngā snowy, where it does give you the opportunity to delve in more and research some of these words that we haven't got the Māori context for yet. And the whakakiki a kete of te reo Māori.
Yeah. And even, and this is depending on your relationship with your learners and your learning buddies, ki te whakamahia e rātou tētai kupu Pākehā, it's a great time to go, I wonder what the Māori word for that is. So we find that out, and then it becomes a thing.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think, kanui tēnā.
Ai, kanui tēnā. Cool. Moving on. This is from Lisa Mole. Mole or
Kia ora,
Mole? Lisa.
Kia ora, Lisa.
I just really don't want to pronounce the names wrong, But anyway.
You're hard out.
Okay. I love your podcast. Kia ora. The English kupu activism has no direct translation in the Māori dictionary online. I wonder if this word, as it translates into Te Ao Māori, would be an interesting topic. A process of understanding for me in my life is to look at the etymological roots of words and to also look at definitions in other languages, especially te reo, to help me consider things in a different way, different to my assumptions. Anyway, just chucking that idea into the mix that you can take or leave.
No rere, how te whakapapa o te kupu activism?
To act in a different way. I don't know. He kimi noa.
She talked about the etymology. Whakapapa o te kupu e. We'll have to look that up. But
I'm going to look that up right now.
yeah, while you're looking it up, just quickly based on our last question and this question is when we start learning our language, and it's not a bad thing, it's just an awareness, he whakaaro Pākehā, te rapu I tētahi kupu e hāngai pū ana ki te reo, ki te kupu Pākehā, ne? We get stuck in that. And even as a translator myself, sometimes I would get stuck on a word and I will go looking for a word, whereas actually, you're actually narrowed your sight on looking at translating the word instead of the concept. Yeah, whereas a very more Māori way of saying that might be something else.
Right.
You know, and so this is a clashing or a differing of mindsets, you know, whakaaro Māori, whakaaro Pākehā. And we do it all the time. And I think that's probably helped or is the reason for the reshaping, refocusing of kupu Māori. So back in te mano te kupu, great ep, we talked about kaitiakitanga, what that means now and what that actually meant and what it should still mean as well. And we just recently talked about offering that actual scope of kaitiaki, actually, he kaitiaki, he tupua, he taniwha. Now, they are the people who...
Papa.
Papa, or the people who manage environmental strategies, which isn't wrong. However, to go back to our call about finding the kupu for activism, horekau aku kupu. Right?
Okay, so hang on, can I just say, this is what the dictionary has. Activism, the policy or action of using vigorous campaigning to bring about political or social change.
Ka pai. Well, I just saw a picture of my uncle Hone Harawira. What do you think, bro?
A couple of things, but I think firstly, you mentioned it around how we lose sight of the concept of the kupu, and we try and like translate, like the question is saying, a definitive translation for the word activism. I don't know what it is. I don't even know what it is in English, let alone trying to translate it into te reo Māori. So trying to, I suppose, understanding what activism is first, and then putting the concept in behind it, and then finding the translation behind that concept. The other part to it too is what you mentioned around how we get stuck on one word and we try and search for the translation, or even, you know, hanga tētahi kupu hau for a new word to us. And I think one thing I've been taught in the past was when we find ourselves in that situation, trying to understand or trying to bring a Māori word in line with a Pākehā word, sometimes it's easier to just bring that level of English down to your actual level of te reo Māori,
that's cool.
as opposed to trying to find a translation word that fits the flash kupu, I suppose, for one of the better words. A lot of us, especially like we're in that medium of past just learning. We're not taumata yet, but we're scratching to get there.
Yeah.
And so we heighten our expectations and grabbing some real flash as kupu Pākehā to try and whakamaori it, but we can't even understand what that kupu Pākehā is yet. So
Good point.
pull it down, get the English word at your level, and then we find it a lot more easier to whakamaori with the same concept.
I like
and
that.
that understands
That's
the whole
great rautaki.
the whole line and what you're trying to put across.
Pai.
Love that.
Anei, he kupu whakarite mo te activism, he manu tute. That's probably using our kupu whakarite maybe as close as getting to explaining what or one part of that kupu main being. You know, manu tute is one that sits amongst he manu ka noho I te rārangi manu and sort of jabs them about, you know, sort of roughs things up.
Provokes,
he manu tute.
Cool.
Yeah. But at the end of it all, the other thing, now we're getting, these are my personal opinions, and the opinion of
The tai tokerau?
Oh, no. Pohaurai. But what is activism in te ao Māori? What is that? What is activism in Te Ao Māori?
Could just being on the marae and simply in like a whakahua situation where people are throwing out their different thoughts on whatever the kaupapa is. Isn't that a form of activism?
Yeah, well,
in Māori?
that's what I mean. In Te Ao Māori, you know, why was whina, kore mo takakuia, whina, why was she praised and also challenged? Why was it? Because she spoke up for what she believed in, and because I guess because it went against the current of the time, it was an activist type of way. He whakarongo. You know, should we be called activists? What makes an activist? Through what lens does it make our people, or those who like to speak up for righteousness, for things, me ngā mea tika, ngā mea pono, should they be called activists? You know, just challenging the whakaaro.
Yeah.
So many times in there, one sentence is, like, and kia ora, this is just my take on it, it's about activating thought and action in the political world.
Yeah.
So that whole activating your people, activating your thoughts to become actions.
Yeah, pai.
Cool.
Hopefully,
I like that.
Lisa, that's
Consequence.
activated some whakaaro in your world. Tēnā koe.
Tēnā koe. Okay, cool. Moving on. And this is from Kayla.
Kayla.
What's the tikanga around separating photos of the living from the dead in your own kāinga? My nanny used to do this, and now I want to create a whakapapa tree wall with my kaumātua as the head, but I am worried that this isn't allowed.
Kia ora. You got any whakaahua at home?
Interesting question, that one. Tuatahi, and it probably goes back to a couple of episodes around what tikanga is, what your tikanga is at home, and how you run it. So, yeah, I suppose that's another section to it. In terms of mate, hanging mate and te hunga ora on the same wall, I feel, is where this question is going, in the whakapapa thing. It's not often seen, and well, not in our households anyway, in our whānau households, where it seems to be like you walk into somebody's house, ko tētahi pakitara o te hunga mate, and ko tētahi atu, you know, te hunga ora. And so, I don't know if it's a thing, but kia nei, that's their tikanga, that's what they're doing in their whare. You know, it's not like those of us who who whakarākei our walls and our whare on the marae. You know, there isn't a hunga ora wall either.
No.
Yeah.
So, why not? Iaua, tikanga anō. So the whole separation of that part is putting one not higher or anything like that, but there is a sense of levels when it comes to remembrance of those who have passed on and those who are still with us. Hoi anō atu I tēnā, you know, we've got pictures of Bob Marley hanging in our kitchen too, you know, so aha koa, he mate ia, we've got him hanging up I roto I te whare o te ora.
Yeah.
Ki runga I te marae, e kā.
Yeah.
E kā.
Well, you know the old
Hoki I
saying,
te kāinga.
Tembele full but me hungry. A hungry man is an angry man.
Prophecies, bro.
Prophecies, io matua mai. Yeah.
But yeah, koina tāku. I mean, I don't have any hang-ups on it, but yeah, just I think for one is just to be careful.
Yeah.
And be confident.
Nā whakai ana, bro. I think kei tēnā. And then if you have your intention of your whare and your tikanga, kei a koe. And because I'm a bit like that too, and I've been to some whare, and there all it is just their kaumātua, right? Like heaps of them, kaumātua. And then I noticed, and I don't know if it's by design or by coincidence, that the ones of their mokopuna and living, they were on stands on the, you know, on the dresses.
Lentils, yeah.
But on all the ones high up, just kaumātua from hundreds of years ago, all right down the hallway. And it was really impressive, actually. I was really taken back by that. And then I said, ko ki tō whare, eh, bro? And he goes, you should see the bedroom. And I was like, what? Went and saw the bedroom, and he's just got this big whakapapa chart. And I said, geez, I don't know how you sleep in this room, but, that's their tikanga.
Yeah.
And this person is well connected, a whakapapa person. So they feel at home with that, and they feel connected to their kaumātua and their mate, even though they haven't met them. My nan, she has all of our tupuna hanging in her staircase.
Oh, yeah.
And they climb up like this in order, of course. I myself, I have a photo of my tuakana who sits in my my daughter's room, and I'm in that photo too. But we have a connection that's a photo. And then, we might have family photos, and people will go, there's only 2 more left alive in that photo. So kei a koe.
Yeah.
And your intention and where you want to practice that tikanga kei a koe. Yeah.
I was actually just wanting to ask, what does one do when you have like a beautiful whānau portrait, but like, say the koro that's in it, or the nan that's in it passes away? Does that whole portrait need to be removed from the hunga ora wall and moved to the hunga mate? Or?
Yeah.
But it can't, because then it's got all these people who are alive in it. Yeah.
Maybe the compromise is you have a photo of that loved one, and if you are having a wall of remembrance or, whakamaharatanga, that you just have a profile photo of them, there, and then it shows, the compromise or the different, and you can leave that whānau one up.
Yeah.
I think it's really how you position it, and because we sort of have a Te Ao Māori compass, we can walk into a whare and go, that's their wall. Just don't print a t-shirt of them. Hara tērā te tikanga Māori.
Okay.
If you think that, once again, kei tēnā o rātou tikanga, e pai ana, but we were going to have a reunion of a tupuna of ours, and they wanted to make t-shirts, and we said, not if they're going to get washed with your undies. Yeah.
I think I've spoken about this before, but personally at my parents' whare, I arranged all of our whakaahua there in a whakapapa wall, like this person, our friend Kayla, I think, is intending to do, where we've got like the greats up there, then it goes down into my grandparents, and then us.
Yeah. That's what I want to. I want to do more of that, of like all these tupuna. But I just got to see how my household think about that. They get a bit freaked out.
But like you guys said, kei a koe te tikanga.
Kei a koe te tikanga.
Your house, your rules.
Yeah. And if you, and the thing is, so here's a takeaway. If you decide on wanting to follow tikanga or observe tikanga, then anei, ko te mate ki te mate, ko te ora ki te ora. Kaua ki roto I te whare kai, o I te wā o te kai, based on if you are to consider these things. And, even considering if they should be in the hallway. I know some people, they don't mind. Others, I'm like, hallways are different, eh? Well, for me. I
don't know. My hallway is like a gallery wall.
Hallway's a gallery wall of art.
Art and photos.
Art and photos. Yeah, kei tēnā.
Hey, actually, so just going back to the whare kai, what about photos like stuck on with magnets on the fridge?
Well, hey, even that.
I just realised the photos on our fridge.
We do that too. Aho koe e ora ana.
Yeah.
But it's
a thing, in the kitchen.
It's a thing, yeah.
The whare kai.
The kai, yeah. Kei tēnā. I'm not going to go home and rush. I'm not going to rush home and take all the photos of
I'm thinking
our kids
about
on
it
holiday and all that. But I know, we know, yeah. What about you? You going to move Bob to the bedroom or?
Thinking about it, eh? It's just cool having breakfast with them.
Yeah, exactly.
And another thing where he talked about you know, we're in the same photo as someone who has passed. It just reminds me of the movie Koko.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of it, we weren't too sure about it, but the one who had passed had actually been folded. It wasn't in the actual photo itself. And I've seen my mum's done that in a few of her photos that her wall too. And, just being how you know, we lost our father at a young age. Oh, when we were young, he was young too. But a lot of his photos, my mum's in them. So what she's actually done is she's just folded her out of it. With the whakaahua, still bringing him present, but she's not hanging on the wall next to him as such. So, I think so that's another way to get around those sort of barriers, if you make it a barrier. Keyword, if you make it a barrier.
Kia ora.
So,
Kia ora.
But whakapapa, I know we're, in terms of keeping whakapapa alive, it seems to be a thing these days. And I've got a take on that. That's probably a whole other episode in itself. Hoi anō. Ki te whakaorai a tātou, tau Māori, a tō tātou tuakiritanga is understanding our whakapapa. So encourage it. And Kayla, have fun.
And that's why I want to do it, so it's visual for my kids.
Koia.
So they've got a wall they can look at. And it's, I think it's a healthy thing, before we move on, a healthy understanding of mate.
Cool. So I think we'll finish off with this one. It might be a quick answer. Probably won't be. But this comes from...
No, Q is married. Sorry.
Sorry, everybody.
Happily.
It's that purple apple.
Okay. This is from Stacey Amanda, and she says, Kia ora, I just came across your podcast and am loving it. Ka pai. I've been looking for karakia kai that isn't centred around atua. Are you able to point me in the direction of a few? Ngā mihi.
E maramana ki tau e rapuna. Amanda? Or Stacey?
Stacey Amanda.
Two first names, kia ora.
The dongs.
Yeah. Well, I think you have the kaya koe te mana ki te hanga I tō ake karakia.
Yes.
And we're talking about secular and non-secular, And there are many karakia Māori as well that actually acknowledge the environment in which the food came from. So, you know, you can thank the checkout lady, the plastic bag, and the trolley that brought your kai. Nah, that's a joke. But kaya koe te mana. Kaya koe te mana, if that's where you want to put your intention, wherever that is,
tautoko, where, you know, I refer back to my son who's still at kohanga now, you know, one of their karakia kai starts off with he kai, and then it wipes into who brought the kai, where the kai was harvested from, and finishes off with he kai, tātou e.
Oh, cool.
And I'm like, check, nothing in reference of, you know, usually...
No, e te atua.
Yeah, and it seems to be a past where it's where a lot of karakia kai is around whakapai the kai, hoi anō. We don't really give thanks to the hands that prepared the kai or something like that. And so I think you talked about acknowledging the tai ao, no mai ngā hua o te wai tai rā. You know, that there is a sense of acknowledging the hands that, you know, created the kai as such. Ahakoa no ngā atua, but, you know, the atua status hasn't really been acknowledged until the very end. You know, so it's easy for us to go, whakapai nā kai, e tātua whakapai nā kai. And then, you know, so straight again, we've gone into acknowledging atua, which atua, aua, kai a koe. But then...
Te miki tāna rā runga, te miki tāna rā raro, ho mai nei te pōka te kōpū, nei te pōka roa.
And depending on who, you know, you listen to as well, you know, there's what do you call these? There's a collar wearer, wears a collar.
Oh, yeah.
And he talked about doing karakia before he had his milkshake. He had a milkshake, you know, and then and it's as karakia as pono is, tua's atua, and then he enjoys it. And then there was a comment made about, how come, you know, do we even have to acknowledge and bringing karakia to having just a milkshake? And his response to it was around, you know, we don't have to wait for the big hakari to give thanks to what we're about to receive.
Right.
But again, you know, who are we giving their thanks to in relation to the question? So I think it's probably a cool time to, hanga te tehi karakia that you feel good with, that hangas to the taiao. I feel like that's the key there for one in terms of preparing the kai and enjoying the fruits of its labour.
Kia ora.
Kia ora.
Yeah.
One that we do at home is a very, very simple one that they do at my children's kohungahunga and punereo. They do a lot, but this one, I like this one because it's real simple and I can remember it and it has an easy tune. But it just goes, Nau mai rā e ngā hua, hei oranga tinana, hei oranga wairua, tēnā rā koutou katoa.
They not like us. They not like us. No.
Mama.
Cool. Mama.
Beautiful. Mama.
Yeah.
And then enjoy the kai. So,
Yeah. It's easy. So it doesn't explicitly acknowledge atua.
Yep.
But just gives thanks and, you know, acknowledging that it's going to be something that's good for our wairua and tinana.
Yep.
And it has an easy tune.
Yeah, pai.
That I can remember.
Yeah. Nā, he nui ngā āhinga he nui ngā āhinga kei a koe, Stacey. Look for, there may be already some, as we've exemplified here today, that have already been created. You can look for your own. And ultimately, it's based on intention. You know, I know of people that aren't familiar, comfortable with acknowledging deities, atua Māori, for their kai. And e pai ana, he māramatanga no tēnā. And then it should come down to another question is, does kai need to have a karakia? If it's already been transformed into an edible source. Poina, he whakaahua no te. Well, ko huri ke te Māori, ko huri ke te Māori. I'm feeling the Māori of this chair, hoi. But, he whakaahua no te.
Does the chair have a Māori?
Does the chair have a Māori? Or te hau? Te hau ko waiho mai nei, wai.
Te hau nā.
Yeah. But, e pai. And that's it. It's an intention, It's our intention, especially, I think it's mentally, and to sit and take a break to be grateful for what you're about to receive in terms of sustenance, in terms of kai.
Yeah.
It's a good practice.
Pea whakaaro in preparing the kai. So, you know, we talked about when the kai is ready, it's at the table, steam's coming off, we're ready to eat, ka tahi ka karakia. I'm just wondering if there's anyone out there who actually does karakia before actually preparing the kai.
Yeah.
We talk about it when we go Ramatsuna, Kaimoana, kohi kai. Hauhake, e rā momo, tuatahi karakia. Yet when we pull it out of the fridge and in the kitchen, we put it on the bench and then tuatahi ka ino i tate.
Yeah, tika.
He whakaaro tērā.
Pai.
Wow.
Nah, it is great awareness. And perhaps that's how, because there is still the open discussion about whether our tupuna had karakia over kai. However, we know for a fact that they did karakia in preparing and collecting kai. So, yeah.
Cool.
Ai. I got an uncle when he has a karakia before he has a piece of cake and then he takes his insulin. Just food for thought, mama. Food for thought.
Just food for thought.
Karakia no tēnā.
Karakia no tēnā. But no, e mihi ana, I think that brings us to an end for today, e hoa. Tamariki mā. Mihi ana kia koutou. Mihi ana kia koutou I ngā pātai tukuna mai. Kia tukuna tonutia mai nei koutou pātai. I love hearing feedback from people when we meet them and they say, I really love the show. And I always say this, and they should know this, send us feedback, send us pātai, send us critical feedback, send us wero in terms of critical thinking, you know, challenging what we talk about. It's great. It's part of the ko koutou, ko mātou, ko tātou. It's great on feeding the conversation that we have here. So mihi ana kia koutou. Kia koe hoki, bro. Mihi ana kia koe.
Kia ora.
Kia tātou anō.
Feel like I've reached the pinnacle of my life now.
You've made it there. They're pouring some wet concrete out there. Put your hands in there.
Only took 330 episodes. Māku e tuku mihi atu kia koutou taringa. Taringa, toana I ēnei tau. Nō reira, koina, send them feedback, send them whatever, and if need be, send them some more talent so you can fill these seats and stuff slowing down low. So,
not a bad idea.
I think I'm going to get a letter next week saying, don't come Monday.
Mihi ana, bro.
Yeah, mihi ana kia koutou.
Thanks for jumping in last minute.
This was not planned.
No, not planned at all.
Like I said, I've enjoyed watching what episodes I have watched. I dare say, you know, I'm not an avid watcher or listener hoi anō. The gems and the gold that comes out of these podcasts are, I second to none. So, mihi ana kia koro, koutou hoki, ko takutua kana.
Ai, tēnā koutou. We got someone just commenting on how they've watched a few episodes, and there's one of you asking what TikTok is. 330.
That must have been like my first episode or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, actually, and this is all in hindsight, we've grown with the kaupapa.
Yeah.
In terms of experience and māramatanga and mātauranga.
Well, I don't know. I'm sure people are out there going, geez, Erica's been on there for 4 or 5 years already and still can't talk to them.
I like that thing. People still yelling at me going, oh my gosh, that's bad grammar. Oh my gosh, Oh my gosh, that's bad English.
Same here.
Oh well, 330 more we might get. No reire runga no I tērā whakaaro, e mihi ana kia koutou katoa, mā te wāhi ngaro tātou e manaaki, e tauwhiro, I roto I ngā rā kei mua I a tātou katoa. Hei kona rā.
Hei kona.
Ko te reo, te take.